Good morning, and thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering the CFB Super League to replace the NCAA. The A's are leaving Oakland after 2024. We'll also be talking, again, a little bit about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. And then make sure you guys stick around for later in the show when we'll be diving into our Florida Man Friday segment. So, but before we start, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. We get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is GSMCPodcast.net. This just puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also really helps the show. So, hello, Tate.
Hello, Faith. Okay, first off, want to apologize to the audience who tunes in. We're starting about 30 minutes later.
Yes.
A lot of breaking, some breaking news. There's a lot of crazy things going on today.
Yeah.
Got off to a late start. It's not our normal start time. So apologize on that one. I'm feeling in a purple mood today. Faith is looking amazing.
Got the floral on today for spring, even though it doesn't feel like spring outside where I live. It's cold right now. Hate that.
It's actually pretty nice here. So, but you know what? There is so much like sports stuff going on that I completely forgot about that we're doing Florida Man Friday.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand the fact that I live for these crazy stories and I completely forgot because of everything that's
I almost forgot this. I almost forgot this morning too. Like, I was doing prep for the show and I was like, I read all the sports stories and I was like, all right, cool, we're done. And then I was like, wait, we're missing something. And I was like, oh yeah, Florida Man.
So this week went out pretty well. We hit one little speed bump with our Thirsty Thursdays.
Yeah.
That was, we're going to kind of alter that to when, kind of, how do you want to say that now? It's going to be like people that have done dumb things while they're drunk.
Yeah.
Drunk regrets.
Drunk regrets.
Can put it,
yeah.
You've done something stupid, things like that. Thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday is still Thirsty Thursday, but it's a different Thirsty Thursday.
It's kind of more when drinking goes wrong.
Yeah.
And there should be a lot of those.
Yeah.
So, all right, Miss Faith, let's dive into some of this. I have like no prep for the day because I wasn't prepared for most of these
I wasn't
stories.
really prepared either, so I think we're in the same boat.
We're gonna experience a lot of this. I was in wall-to-wall meetings yesterday, and so I didn't get to see any of this.
Yeah.
So I'm like scrambling today to get some of this information before.
I think we both are, so
Yes, let's see how we do here.
Alrighty, so the CFB Super League is to replace the NCAA, and the CFP is being discussed by school presidents. A group that includes several college presidents has proposed to dramatically alter the way college football is organized, according to The Athletic. The group, which is called College Sports Tomorrow, has floated the idea of creating a two-tiered structure among FBS schools. The current CST outline could create a system excuse me, that would have the top 70 programs, all members of the 5 former major conferences, plus Notre Dame and new ACC member SMU, as permanent members and encompass all 130 plus FBS universities. The perpetual members would be in 7 10-team divisions joined by an 8th division of teams that would be promoted from the second tier. Plenty of fans will argue college football is trending towards a super league of sorts. The Big Ten and SEC are increasingly concentrating their power, and the revenue for their member schools is widening the chasm between the haves and the have-nots. conference. Following the newest round of realignment, separating football from the traditional college sports model is equally as inevitable. Football teams have the resources to traverse the country for conference games, and the travel logistics are easier when teams play once a week. Having teams in non-revenue sports make the same trips simply isn't sustainable. So,
Hey,
big stuff going on.
so you have more of the details of what they're proposing, or you want me to kind of dive into it? Let's see if you can. So I'll start
Yeah.
with some of it as you look some of it up
Mm-hmm.
here. So the proposal that makes this thing like amazing is number one, all the Power Five teams that are currently in, including Notre Dame and SMU, would be grandfathered in that they're always in the new Super League. So and SMU, who just got into the ACC, would be included. Oregon State and Washington State, part of the former Pac-12, all those teams would be included. The Big Ten, the SEC, all of those guys would be in. So that's 70 teams, including Notre Dame, that would all be in automatically. They would do away with the proposal is they would do away with all the conferences. So they would break up 7 leagues or seven conferences by geographic area. So the Alabamas and the Georgias would still be together. The Michigan, Ohio States would still be together. The USC, UCLAs would all still be together in a geographic region, keeping those old rivalries that have been around for decades. So that those 70 teams would all be in a 10 team conference. Then there would be an eighth, all the teams that are from the group of five would go into a conference as well. They would create an eighth conference where they would take the best teams from the group of five, and they would be in a conference. But that would be a promotion and relegation system where those group of five teams, the University of Akron, the Toledos, the Boise States, all 130 something, 35 teams would all have a chance at making the playoffs. The group of five teams, whenever, the top teams would all be put into that eighth division in which they get to contend for the playoffs. The worst team in that eighth division would be dropped down to the Power Five, and the best team from that group of five would be moved up to the Super League. The playoff system would work as follows. This is me putting this all together fast here, Faith. The playoff system would consist of those new 7 teams plus that relegation division. So those 80 teams would play. There would no longer be a coaches poll or an AP poll or a BCS poll, or there wouldn't be this voting system any longer. That would go away. You'd strictly make the playoffs strictly on your play. You'd play your season in your conference, and the winner of that conference is just like the NFL model. All 8 of those teams automatically the college football playoffs. Then there are 8 wild card teams where you've played your season, and it's just like the NFL. There's tiebreakers and things of that nature. Conference record, everything you'd play, and the top 8 teams would get in, and they would all play for the national championship. So there's no more, hey, I went to Georgia, so I'm voting for Georgia. Hey, I went to Michigan, so I'm voting for Michigan. I'm biased. I don't, right. None of this, no biasness.
More like automatic bids or anything like that?
Right. No automatic bids. Everyone,
Okay.
everyone would get a win. I mean, everyone, your play on the field determines how you would get in.
Why did
They
it
also,
take them so long
oh, wait,
to
wait,
do
it's not
this?
even done. This is just a proposal. This is a proposal. It's
Why
not
is it
done.
taking them so
This
long
is
to propose this? That's what I'm
this is
saying. Like,
it's perfect. They also want to there would be this would be separate from the NCAA, so they would have
mhm,
like a commissioner that would run it.
mhm,
The players would all get paid and would all be able to negotiate their contract. They would it would be collectively bargained, so they would have a union that they could determine the dividing up of the profits. The schools would still get their money. Uh, so it works really well. Name, image, and likeness would be regulated under this system so that players aren't taken advantage, families aren't being taken advantage of. So it's a win-win for everyone.
mhm.
Like even if you go to a small school, all 135 teams would all have a shot at getting in. Even if you're like at University of Akron, as a school I went to, haven't been very good ever. So let's say they have a good year, they have a good year, they're able to get into that eighth conference and contend for a playoff. They win that conference, they can play for a national, can play in the college football playoff. Even if you're the worst team in the nation, within 2 years, if you turn things around, you could be contending for a college football playoff spot. Everyone has a fair shot. The money would still be divided up. It wouldn't be an even split. So the schools like the Georgias, the Michigans, the Alabamas, the Ohio States, the Texas, they would get more money, but everyone would still have a fair playing field to get to the playoff. They would work within the current television contracts to kind of keep things going. This addresses everything
It does,
that has
yeah.
been that everyone's been complaining about. They would use private equity to put it all together to get the money together for everyone. It would be a win-win situation for everyone. It won't happen. It won't happen, Faith. I'm just gonna let you know, Faith. Okay, I just want you to think about this.
Uh-huh.
You go to the University of Georgia.
Yes, go dogs.
Do you see the SEC who's making 80 to $100 million a team, the organization, the SEC, saying,
Hmm.
you know what, we're willing to give up our power and let the SEC go
No,
away so that it can be fairly balanced out
no,
8 conferences.
no, I don't see that happening. But
Absolutely not. Wait, wait,
it
wait.
would be nice.
Now, let's just say somehow you had some magic pixie dust and you blew it all on all the commissioners at the in the SEC.
Hmm.
Now you got to go to the Big Ten. Do you think the Big Ten's going to give up 100? And they make more. They're making 100 and something $1 million,
Yeah.
not 80 to 100. They're making 100 plus.
Hmm.
Do you see the Big Ten saying like, you know what, we'll go away, and this is what's best
Keep it
for
fair.
college football. you know, we want football to be fair for everyone.
No.
We want everyone to have an equal chance at winning the national championship now. So let's just here. Let me cut up some orange slices and pass them out to everybody. We're gonna be all a happy family. Do you see that
Yeah.
happening?
No, I don't see it happening, which is really unfortunate because this
This
layout
solves all
literally
the problems.
solves every single problem that is going on in college football right now.
Every one of them.
It even solves the lawsuits going on with FSU, Clemson. It solves everything.
Everything.
And so, like, for me,
But
I don't
power
understand.
corrupts.
I know, but for me, I don't understand why this wasn't how it was from the beginning. Like, I don't understand why it wasn't like this to begin with, because like before starting this show, I didn't
Because
know what the hell an automatic bed was. I didn't know anything about anything, and now that I'm learning everything, it's like, wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense. None of the, I mean,
it doesn't
this
make
plan makes so much sense, but how they're doing it right now is complete baloney.
exactly.
Yeah,
This
so.
helps every team. Everyone would have a fair shot.
Mhm.
Even I use the University of Akron as a great example, or Kent State University, or something like that. You could be a small school that's, have been horrible for years.
Mhm.
And somehow you get some rock star quarterbacks, some other players go there, and you turn things around. Right now, the only chance a guy like that would have to play for the national championship is he would have to transfer.
Yeah.
Well, in this program, you turn things around, you're the best team in the group of five, then you get moved up from the group of five league to the new super league. In the same course, let's say you're Memphis. I just use Memphis as an example, and been doing well, but you know what? Your team has just been struggling. You haven't won a game in a while. You get relegated down to the lower league, but it still protects the Georgias and the Alabamas of the world because they've been in a group of five forever. They get to stay in there. So even if they're
Mhm.
having a bad year, they still get a few years. They don't have to get dropped down. They stay. That's those 70 schools have are grandfathered in to always there. So it takes care of all the commissioners who are in Power Five conferences right now. It helps out those lower conferences. Imagine if you're in a smaller conference, but you're in that eighth conference, and you're 1-9, and you got a game. That game matters now. You're the
Mhm.
last few games of the year. People are tuning in. That's must see TV because you're like, is Akron gonna, is Akron or Memphis or Boise State, if they lose this game, they're gonna get sent down in relegation to the lower league. And it takes them 2 years to get back in it. Those games, the fans are tuning in to find out even the low rated games, the playoff. Everyone at the beginning of the year, you have a shot. It makes it fair. I think the only way you're going to still to make, because this works. This
Mhm.
absolutely works. I have said for a long time the Tate system would be the only one that I could see. Nope, I throw the Tate system away. I am pro Super League. The Super League does it all. So you take like how I think you have to critique it a little bit, and here's the reason why. It takes care of everything except for the fact that the Big Ten is never going to say, we will roll over and go away. The SEC, not the schools, all the schools are taken care of in the SEC and the Big Ten. But the organization, the Big Ten, the organization, the SEC, are never going to agree to go away. They make too much money, they have too much power. You
Mhm.
agree on that one?
Yeah.
So, my proposal to critique this, because they put some of the brightest minds. They took school presidents. They took people from the NFL. Roger
Mhm.
Goodell's right hand man is part of this. They took business executives. They took some of the smartest people to put this together, and it works. So the only thing that doesn't work is people are not going to give up power. So my suggestion is the only way to get this to work is you have to take care of the SEC and the Big Ten.
Mhm.
So my proposal is the SEC, I think they have 16 teams. The SEC adds 4 schools. Miami, Florida State, let's say, or let's say Miami, Florida State, Clemson, and Georgia Tech. Okay. I'm just saying. The Big Ten already has 18 schools in it. So
Mm-hmm.
you add like a North Carolina and Virginia, and you put, or North Carolina and North Carolina State, you put them in there. You take the rest of the ACC, this is blowing up the ACC. Take the rest of those ACC schools, you put them in the Big 12 or this new merged conference. You make those 7 conferences. The SEC has 2 conferences, the SEC East and the SEC West. Okay. There are 10 teams in each one. That would be 2 conferences. The Big Ten has 2 conferences, the Big Ten East, the Big Ten West. That'd be USC and all those guys. In Nebraska, they're all in the
Mm-hmm.
West. That would be 4 of those conferences. Then that new conference that's leftover ACC schools, maybe you put Notre Dame in the Big Ten or something like that. But then you take that new conference of the schools that are left over of the ACC, the Big 12, and the Pac-2, you put them all together and you divide them up into 3 conferences of 10. There's your 7 conferences there. And then you still have your your group of 5 conference where the top 10 schools from the group of 5 end up in that one. You have your system.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I can see that working, because you're not, the Big Ten and the SEC will never give up. Am I right? There's no way they're going to give it up. But
No,
if you
they
can,
have like a monopoly on everything right now.
right.
Why
So
would
they're
they
not
not do
going to,
that?
who's going to give up their monopoly?
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, the SEC, you still have your television contract,
Mm-hmm.
SEC East, SEC West, you're still making your money. The Big Ten East, the Big Ten West, you're still making your money. The new conference gets their television contract. You can still do this,
Mm-hmm.
just you'd have to adjust it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is doable.
Mm-hmm.
The television contracts would have to be adjusted. That's the other thing. Will ESPN and Fox and CBS give up? They have these television rights to the Big Ten and SEC and all this stuff. It's like you'd have to get them on board too. But
Yeah.
it literally addresses everything from name, image, and likeness to
Literally every problem
collectively
that's
bargained.
going on
Yes,
right now.
collectively bargained agreement. Florida State, Clemson, the Pac-12, the old Pac-12.
Two.
It covers everything. The
Yeah.
Pac-12, it covers everything. I absolutely love it,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think we'll see it unless something like what I'm proposing would have to come into play, because the
Unless
SEC is
somebody's
not going
just
to.
feeling nice that day.
Because think about it. Do you see, living in the South, and we both know the South, there's someone saying, hey, what's best for college football is that the Big Ten and the SEC, we just do away with the conferences altogether. No way is someone going to give up
No. No.
that.
No, the
You
SEC
you
is
know
like a huge deal here. No. That's
yes,
not
it's
happening.
like so if the minute someone says, hey, this thing takes care of everyone, but the SEC has to go away.
Like, nope.
No, you go up to the Midwest, you go up to Ohio, Michigan, or Chicago, or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, and say this thing takes care of everybody. Everybody's covered.
Yeah.
Big Ten got to go away. Are you crazy? You know, you could get the ACC to get involved. I think you could get the ACL involved. You can get the Big 12, but those 2 guys right there, are not going to go away. My proposal, by making two conferences in the SEC, two conferences in the Big Ten, whatever's left, merge it into one mega conference and give them three berths, then I could see them being happy, because then SEC and the Big Ten always has their two teams always in it. That's, if you win the SEC East, you're in. You win the SEC West, you're in. Big Ten East, you know what I mean? They have theirs. They get the SEC and the Big Ten gets their pound of flesh because they get four teams in. Plus, the wild cards, probably they're going to get another 4 to 6 teams in the wild card. So it takes care of them. That new super conference, they get 3 automatic bids, and then they get a couple of wild card berths. It takes care of everyone, just tweaking it a little bit. This is the best proposal I have seen, because there needs to be something that takes care of the group of 5. And talk about, if let's say you're Alcorn State and you're Boise, and you're in the relegation league and you're doing really well and you guys are playing. That's must-see TV, because you want to know, are they going to get into the Super League this year? Are they in the Super League this year? The winners in the Super League. Well, that game matters now. People really want to watch it. So I know we are way over here.
Yeah.
Faith just shot me like, listen,
we gotta get it.
we gotta wrap this up, B. Okay. So we'll take a break. Thank you, Ms. Faith.
You're welcome. All right, guys. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the A's leaving Oakland after 2024. So make sure you guys stick around, and we will be back in a minute.